Hey, what's up guys? This is Youth Man. This video is part 2 from a video series that we did at Vid Summit 2019 with myself, Chana D, the Techno Dad, and Joe and Tell. So at the very end of this video, I'll link to the first video. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, be sure that you do that. But in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 tips to maximize your home theater. So let's get into it. So what do you think would be some ways that you could do, and even like free things, there's some things that you can do in your setup that don't cost anything that really could have a significant impact on how it sounds and how it performs?
I mean, my thing is use and trust your ears. Okay. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to just do that, especially if they're not experienced. My thing is like, let the AV receiver do its thing, calibration. Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Go back in to crossovers, and if you're working with towers that are full range, maybe play with it. Maybe the 80 hertz isn't the best for your room and your setup. It could be. I know a lot of people use 80 as a starting point, and they kind of mess around from there. Chances are, if you're using satellites or bookshelves, 80 is probably like a good crossover rate, unless you have really small satellites, then maybe 90 or 100, depending on their frequency response, that kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I would say. You know, like, start with the calibration, whatever the calibration does, go back into the crossover settings. If it does something freaky, like, because I know sometimes even Odyssey
gets it wrong.
Will do some weird stuff.
I've got a video on that. Odyssey got it wrong.
Totally, yeah. Even the Martin Logan setup I have now with the X6500H, which is, it's a expensive speaker system. It's an expensive AVR, but it put the crossovers kind of weird.
Yeah, sure.
And that could just be because of my room.
Well, you produce music too, though. So I would trust your ears more so than maybe somebody else's. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you do have experience, right, and you'd say, well, I can see where there's a problem here. Yeah. I know, and then you know what to do from there too.
Right. Right. So, I don't know how to fix it. Like, I would say this, if I had I could probably make almost any speakers in my room sound good with just some basic bass and treble tone controls. And that's only because this is something I do. I pour over, I'll listen to a song like 500 times, and I'll make small adjustments like, oh, vocal needs to go up 1 dB here, needs to go back down 2 dB there. You know, that kind of thing. And I notice these subtle changes. So I get what you're saying.
I just feel like disagreeing with you, that's all.
It's fun.
No, I was just saying, would you trust me to go and calibrate your TV with my eyes? Because that's what you just kind of said.
Wait a minute, would you trust me with my eyes?
Your eyes, bro?
Okay.
Huh?
These guys are giving me crap, and I love you guys for it. So, yes.
Don't trust my eyes, man. They're jacked up.
One looks that way. The moral of the story is, when you're setting up your home theater, trust your eyes.
I would say combination. How about that? I think that's fair. Because sometimes you do run, everything looks good there, but then you listen, you're like, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
It can happen.
Maybe you measured wrong. Maybe your mic was doing something weird. You don't know, but
could have had your air conditioner blown.
I would say like trust. What do they say? Trust but verify, something like that.
Trust but verify.
I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah.
Like, you do look at the graph.
Use it as a guideline.
Yeah.
And then kind of, if there is something wrong, maybe try to figure it out.
Yeah.
And if you can't, you can email one of the 3 of us.
Yeah.
And we can always try to help.
What else? Optimization.
So I got a really free one that I learned a long time ago, but I didn't learn this until I got involved in a forum, an audio forum, and I sent a picture and showed them my room, and at that time I had 2 speakers on the side. I had one of those old school entertainment centers, you know?
Yeah. Big wooden thing?
Yeah. Big thing. And so I had a little, I don't know, probably a 32-inch TV in the middle. And then right above it, which was pretty high, was my center channel. Sure. And so, it sounded pretty good, but somebody made the comment, they're like, have you ever tried angling the center channel down? And I'm like, no, why would I do that? Here's the deal. Tweeters are very directional. Yeah. So when you're sitting on a couch like this, my ears are, say, 3 foot off the ground, but my tweeters were about 5 feet off the ground.
They're on top of the TV.
That's how Chana recommends, no?
No, well, it's...
Yeah, according to Ron,
okay,
that's how you recommend all the way.
Ron, put the speakers as high as close to the ceiling as possible.
Oh my gosh. So here's the deal, though. So if your center channel, a lot of you guys have an entertainment center. You may have it. I've seen entertainment centers where they put them way down on the floor, or way above the TV, because you can't. You know, I've got an acoustic transparent screen where I have the luxury.
Perfect setup.
Yeah, I've got the luxury to be able to put the speakers directly behind the screen, so I don't have
in line, right?
Yeah, so I don't have to worry about that. But a lot of you guys have, you know, LCD TVs, you got OLED displays and different things like that, and especially now that they're getting bigger.
Still can't put the speaker behind the TV.
Yeah, and they're going up higher and going lower because your TV's getting bigger. So the biggest thing with that is angle it down. So if it's above you, just kind of look at it. You can even take one of those little
I take a
$3
laser pointer.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just put it on the speaker, aim it directly to where your ears are going to be. I'm telling you, it changed dramatically in the clarity, in the dialogue. That just, I mean, it opened up my center channel big time. Same thing on the floor. So if you've got it way down on the bottom,
that's how I have mine.
Yeah.
You can put some foam or whatever to cut it up, and just make sure you have an angle. Yeah.
Did you have your MNKs like partially blocking your screen?
Yeah, that was super annoying.
Your center channel.
It doesn't even have to be anything.
Yeah, because I got a center channel stand that, you know, was sitting in front of the TV stand, and the speaker is like ideal. A big 12-inch by 12-inch kind of cube thing. By 12, 3/12 cube, right? Yeah. And then it was just like 2 inches taller than like we could get to the like TV, the IR sensor on the TV. So like we do one of these guys to like turn on the TV, and my wife just started like, she was like, this is annoying.
And especially if you're 14 feet away, like the angle that you have to get it is
further
crazy.
Back.
It's crazy, right?
It's almost like you have to like.
So a couple things. What Chana mentioned was talking about foam wedges, okay? Yeah. So you can go on Amazon, and I think you look for speaker wedges or speaker foam, forget the exact title, but they literally have different angles for that, and they're super cheap. A friend of mine just bought a center channel, made his own entertainment center, and his speaker had to sit on the bottom. And so I told him about that, and he said, oh, okay. He looked on there, it's like $15. He ordered them, and they were just perfect angle for his position, his room. Sure. So it doesn't have to cost a lot. To angle it down, man, put a book under it. Nobody will ever see it. You know, that's what I literally did. I had a book, put it under the back of the center channel, because I had this massive center channel. And, you know, just whatever it takes, put a towel, wrap it up. You don't have to get fancy with it. Just get that speaker angled at your ears and kind of along the same lines, not only your center channel. I tend to do that with my speakers as well. A long time ago, you know, I just have my speakers just straight. And again, tweeters are very directional. And so not every speaker needs to be what we call toed in, or, you know, it's basically you're just adjusting the angle of, you know, the speaker towards your listening area. Now, my preference typically in my room, in my setup with my horn-loaded speakers, I tend to
horny speakers.
Come on now. I don't know what they do at night when the lights go out. I let them to themselves, but but I tend to prefer to angle my speakers in to where the tweeters, pretty much like if this was me here, so I would angle it to where they would cross just a little bit behind my listening position. I just like that. Some guys like to angle it, you know, straight at the speaker. But the best thing to do, literally play with it, okay? Try it straight, listen to a track that you're very familiar with, and listen to it. And one thing that
and if they're doing that, they're listening for the stereo image.
Yeah,
right?
Just listen. Just how does it sound to your ears? And I can tell you right now, there are times where speakers just sound weird and it's like wonky, and that's because of how it's bouncing around your room. It's just really funky. And so just toe it in, and it doesn't take much. Sometimes it's a little inch, and just try it. Play with it. Sometimes people recommend even just, you know, listen to it for like a week and just see how it sounds, or, you know, but just keep tweaking it. And whether it's angling it in or pushing it closer or further away from the wall, it can have some serious effects to how it sounds in your room. And the other thing I've done too, when you get it about where you want it, you know, you like the way that it sounds, listen to it, you know, in your normal position. So say I'm sitting back here, and then start, you know, just lean forward. And if it sounds better, that means you still have some room in your toe in or toe out. And the same thing, if you lean back, and it sounds better again. You just don't have it lined up. So you don't have to move the speakers, move your head
Back
toward,
and forth.
and just say, oh man, that sounds like really, really good right there. I'm doing what the other guy did.
It's also helpful to have somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's
That's
a huge deal,
yeah,
right?
so that's
That's
great.
why you got your
You're gonna have to
kid
keep going
to help.
up,
Hey,
down,
left.
up,
No. Too much. Back.
Absolutely. But see, guys, these are some free things. This doesn't cost you anything, but it can really impact, the way that your speakers sound,
I got
So,
one.
yeah, go ahead, man.
We're talking about home theater? Or just...
Or whatever.
Yeah,
channel,
I mean, just
whatever.
speakers, home theater. It can
Just
be both.
like setup or
we
I
know
don't know,
Joe
whatever.
doesn't do a
right.
lot of home theater, but
Yeah, I got something. I still got my home
I'm
theater.
not saying
you know
you're
what I mean?
not into home theater, but
He's got that big screen. He's got a bigger screen than me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
If I had a dedicated room,
Okay.
I would totally do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm into it.
All right,
I've
good.
always been into it.
Yeah.
So here's what I would say is invest. We were talking about investing in good 2 speakers, right? Invest in a decent sub. Because I'm sure a lot of times you'll get like, hey, are these $100 subs good? Like, no,
They're garbage.
don't do that because they're not gonna hit.
Yeah.
Well, they'll probably get down to like 35 if you're lucky.
The bottom.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they'll bottom out.
35
If
if
you're
you're
lucky.
lucky, maybe 40, right? So invest in a decent sub. Like, we talk about some of these SVS SB or or PB 1000 or a used one.
Sure.
I think we've talked about the RSL. Like these aren't
I rocked
expensive.
15-year-old subs for a long time. I mean, 15-year-old subs.
Yeah.
But they had a 15-inch active and a 15-inch passive, and I had 4 of them. So that's a little crazy, but I mean,
I think
I didn't pay a whole lot for them.
if you can get a decent sub that can hit low, I would say aim for 25 and below.
Yeah. Oh,
if
yeah.
you can do that, you don't have to get that crazy with the speakers because you wouldn't
You
believe
could
how
go with
much
some good bookshelves.
Yeah.
Right.
You can.
How much immersion do you get from the actual subs, right? If you were to disconnect your subs,
Yeah.
it's not going to be as immersive.
My
right?
La Scalas, honestly, they sound pretty. They sound anemic. They really, really do. And
where
they
are you
have
crossing over at?
80.
80, right?
And they have-
on those huge La
But,
Scalas.
but what I'm saying is,
Okay.
yeah, I have them set. I recommend always use a crossover. I'm not one that I don't personally prefer to do them what they call full range.
Right.
Even if they got big,
I'm just saying,
15-inch woofers.
if
but
you get some small bookshelf
Yeah.
speakers, right?
Get a
I've
quality stuff.
reviewed
I
some,
100% agree with
some mica speakers that are like $80 for a pair, right? How loud do you think I can play those things if I cut them off at 80 hertz?
Yeah.
Pretty loud.
yeah, they'll handle a whole lot
Surprisingly
better.
loud, right?
Right, and if you had like a $300 or $400 subwoofer, what's the price of your little setup? Like, we're like $600.
That's gonna be a cool little setup,
Joe's
right?
all about the budget, man.
That's going to be a cool little
Yeah.
setup. So I think people are surprised if you are cutting off at 80 hertz, you can play that stuff pretty loud. Now, if you try to get those to play 40 hertz, that's when they're going to start to bottom out. So invest in a decent sub from the beginning. I don't think you'll ever regret it. And you can sell a sub later on too.
Sure.
Somebody's going to want a decent sub. If you go and get 2 cheap subs, nobody's going to want it. You're going to be stuck with those and you're going to trash it,
Maybe, yeah.
right?
Then you're just going to have to like call it a loss and then put in another $300-400 out from the maybe 150 or 75, whatever you paid for them, right? Yeah.
If you can combine that with your tip of buying a good sub used and the fact that you can just bring your phone, I think that's the way to go. That's a mistake. That's, again, a mistake that people make is trying to cheap out on the sub.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't do that.
And again, it comes back to budget. I mean, I know everybody has a budget. Not everybody can go out and buy a $2,500 subwoofer. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
But, if you've got $250 budget, save up a little bit more. I mean, even literally like another $100, $200 could mean a huge difference.
Shoot,
you know?
another $50 could
But
mean
you know
a
what I
huge
mean? I mean,
difference.
really, it really, really could.
Just think about how much the sub makes a difference, though. I think people underestimate that
Oh
big
my
time.
goodness.
It makes
It'll
such a
change
huge difference as far as the depth and how just
It'll change the experience.
how enjoyable the whole thing is.
And even in music, honestly.
Music too. So I don't know. I think that's the thing I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
How we doing on time and everything, bro?
We're at like half an hour, a little more. I think that's pretty good. I think we got a lot of information, and I think you guys got a lot of information out of it. We're just sitting here talking. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
We might be a little silly, and it might be late, and I know these guys.
It's just been a long 2 days.
These guys like drank a whole lot before
Whatever.
Water.
I had water. Yeah.
That's what they drank.
Yeah. Now, Chana, I'm not sure I can say the same.
Hey, I had some water.
Yeah, he
had
did.
some water.
There's Aquafina. Oh, that's not true.
But that's not mine.
Anything you guys wanted to talk about before we go then? I mean, probably the only other thing that I can think of that like super simple is kind of going back to, check and verify. I can't tell you how many times I've run like Odyssey or room correction on my room and it gets the levels really wrong. And so just invest. You don't have to get something super expensive. You can get like a Radio Shack meter, even the old analog. I still use that. People are like, man, when are you going to go digital? The analog works just as good as the digital does. But get you an SPL meter so that you can physically test, okay, when I'm playing the right speaker, just make sure it's the same volume as your center, as your left, as your surrounds, as the in ceilings if you've got Dolby Atmos.
And if you don't want to, you can get a dB meter for free on your phone.
Yeah.
Just make sure the microphone is facing the area. It should be at your ear level.
Yeah.
Like, just got to put it there.
Yeah.
Hang out like this.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, but again, that's just something free, and to have all of your speakers, now, all right, so there's one little caveat with that. Having all of your speakers play the same volume just creates a more immersive sound. I mean, now we've into the whole Dolby Atmos, Oro 3D, DTSX, all of that's immersive sound. And so having those at equal volume is ideal, but again, sometimes you prefer to tweak those, and that's okay. Some guys I know, they'll bump up their center channel, 2 or 3 decibels. Okay? I mean, there's no right or wrong in that. It's your room, it's your ears, it's what you prefer. Some guys I know, they'll bump up their Dolby Atmos because they just want a little bit more.
Sure.
They want to know that they paid
right.
for
They
those,
want to know something's happening up there.
Yeah, and so
I usually stand on my coffee table to see if something's happening. I'm like, oh, they're still on.
And so they're like, man, I paid for those. I want to really experience those. So they'll bump those up. Same thing with the subwoofer, But to me, again, that's just a great starting point. Check that out. See if you don't like that. But it's just weird when you've got one speaker that's the same distance from the other one, and one's a different volume, and they're the same exact speaker. It's just not a good situation. So, but those are some free things, man, that could help you out. We should arm wrestle. That would be rad.
You're the biggest.
I haven't arm wrestled in a.
Arm wrestle.
I don't know
what is happening. How much did you guys drink? What is in that water?
Hey, I'm game, man. I'm game for whatever. Man, this has been good.
Crazy. You guys are crazy. I don't know what the hell.
Who wants to see that?
But anyway,
maybe we should do that in a future video. That would be fun.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right, if you guys want to see that happen sometime, now it's gonna be hard because we might have to film it, and then if you guys like it, and let us know down in the comments that we'll actually show you the video.
Do you want to see an arm wrestle? If you want to see an arm wrestle, make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell to all our channels. Comment down below if you want to see the arm wrestle. Share the video on Twitter.
Yeah, there you go.
With hashtag arm wrestle.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
I like
Put the link in there.
got?
Hashtag arm wrestle. And you got to tag all 3 of us.
And we need to know who you think's going to win.
Oh, yes. Who do you think is going to win?
Yeah,
who's the prediction?
Yeah, who's going to win?
I don't know how we'll do this like round robin of, I don't know. But we'll figure that out.
Joe and Tell, Youth Man, Techno Dad.
Well, tell us.
And if you like these kind of videos, just let Chana know. Let us know, man. We'd love to get your feedback.
I think we should record it, but not put it on this video.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
that's
what I'm
saying.
saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're going to record it because I live in Florida, and you guys are like on the other side of.
We're definitely going to record it.
5'11".
But if we get enough engagement and requests from you guys, then we will put it on. Okay?
All right.
They're going to place bets?
Not now.
Okay.
Not now.
Bets?
Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Their channels are down in this description. This is, again, Michael the Youth Man and Joe from Joe and Tell. My name is Chana D, your Techno Dad. We'll see you guys next time.